One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hears back to a cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Wishing reports and paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Happy freaking hump day to you legends. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves so far. I definitely know the fuck we are. Shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have quite a wild morning set up for us. I think that you guys are somewhat keen onto what we're going to be talking about today. We were talking about the vote that was to be happening yesterday about the Epstein files. And we have officially gotten a little somewhere with this whole thing. So let's go ahead and break this down. The way that I have this lined up for this morning is Epstein file release latest, because we're following that, as well as Trump speaks to Saudi at Saudi investment conference. And if you guys know, the Saudi prince came over to the United States yesterday, had a big sit down with Trump, and this was happening, I believe, yesterday, right as we ended the live stream. Like right after the live stream ended, they did their little, whatever meeting. And the Saudi prince wants to invest $1 trillion into the United States, bro. $1 trillion. That's 1,000 billion. It's a lot of money. So the way that we're going to have this whole thing lined up, and also one last thing before I get to that. Don't forget that ICE has now expanded over to North Carolina. So I just want to go ahead and let you guys know that that's also happening. We probably are not going to discuss that so much today, but just know that that is going to be happening. We're going to be reporting on that most likely tomorrow, actually. That's how a lot of this stuff goes. So anyways, the lineup, we're going to see the Saudi Crown Prince to invest nearly $1 trillion, and them in their meeting with the cabinet, and actually the Saudi prince's cabinet as well, sitting down in the White House. Then there was breaking news yesterday, as you guys know. House passes Epstein files and to release the bill. To release the files, that's the bill that's being proposed. Obviously, it passed the House. Now I believe it goes, I think that it's already, I don't know if it has to go straight to the Senate, because I think the Senate already approved of this whole thing. So I could be wrong, but I think it goes to Trump now. But I may be wrong on that. Maybe it does go up to Congress or up to the Senate. I'm not 100% factual with that. So just keep that in mind. Trump slams ABC reporter asking about 9/11 and Saudi Arabia during that interview or during that meeting. We're going to talk about that. We have that lined up. Then we have Chuck Schumer speaks after Senate sends Epstein bill to Trump for signature. Okay, there we go. Schumer speaks after Senate sends Epstein bill to Trump for signature. That's a W. So now, as you guys may have remembered, yesterday Trump was asked if this bill was to be given to you, would you sign it? And said, sure, I would. So let's go ahead and see if he keeps up on his end of the bargain regarding this, right? Nonetheless, we also have SpaceX launches more Starlink satellites into orbit, recaptures Falcon 9 rocket. And of course, we gotta love, the rocket and the science and of space and shit like that. I don't know. It's fascinating. Then we're going to talk about Texas redistricting, such as gerrymandering and stuff like that. Federal court blocks new congressional map. We're going to definitely get into the weeds of that for sure. Trump admin announces dismantling of parts of the education department, the Department of Education, as well as Carnival Cruise death. This just happened 2 hours ago. FBI looking into step sibling of teen found dead under bed. Holy shit, over there on Carnival Cruises. What are you guys doing over there? Partying a little too hard? And then, of course, Trump administration advancing efforts to dismantle Department of Education, DOE. And that is our lineup this morning. So before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's absolutely free to do so. And you know what else is free to do so is hitting that subscribe button if you guys are new. But here comes the money part. Make sure, listen, please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. It's what allows us to keep these lights on as well as being on these airwaves. So I very much appreciate everybody becoming a member and then staying a member. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. And we also have a Discord server. Make sure you guys join up on that. Down in the description box down below of any video that we do here is the invite link. So make sure you guys get into that. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I will read it out loud like a super chat. I've got my email up ready to go. So if anything comes through, I will absolutely be able to read it right away. All right, good morning to everybody, all you legends in the building, man. I very much appreciate it. We're going to have to get right into this, but we got Sick Bastard as well as Hardwire, Zip Tie, Gary as well as Rabbit of Chaos, Motobomb, thank you so much with the raid, by the way. I very much appreciate that. That is awesome. We got Brother SNS, Christopher Collins, yes sir, Roll Tide, baby. Let's see here, we got Tiffany in the building as well. Always appreciate you guys. We got Steve Easy. Absolutely. As someone who has been calling for the release, calling for the files to be released, I see it as a good thing. I am also not naive enough to think it would be heavily redacted. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. The 53,000 pages or whatever the amount is, they're going to skim some shit and not totally go, I totally know what you're getting at here. And, it's best not to be naive, right? We got Prez in the building. Shout out to my man. Good morning to you. We got Zip Tie as well as, I know that I saw my brother Pitbull in here. I very much appreciate him over there from the UK. We got Carney's Ride as well, man. Good to see you. We got Neighbor Guy as well as Extra Surprise. Mountain Woman, thank you guys so much for being here, man. Two Wheel Jesus, good morning to you guys. All right, we're going to get right into this. Let's go ahead and get into this story because we have a lot to cover this morning. So this is Saudi Crown Prince to invest nearly $1 trillion. This happened yesterday, right after I got off the live stream. So keep that in mind. We're not going to play this whole conference either.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. We have a extremely respected man in the Oval Office today, and a friend of mine for a long time, a very good friend of mine. And I'm very proud of the job he's done. What he's done.
Oh, hell yeah. Happy anniversary to Pitbull and your wife. That is fantastic. I love to hear that. Congratulations on you for the 3 years, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
In terms of human rights and everything else. And he's the Crown Prince, the future king. And I just want to pay my greatest respect to your father,
Posey.
King, who is an amazing man. I met him early on. He greeted me at the airport at an age that was pretty high up there, and it was about 100.
What's up, Kellen, Canada?
17 degrees, and he was standing on the red carpet as I came out of the plane, and he's
Slim.
amazing. And when I met his brilliant son, it was at the Oval Office. Shortly thereafter, and you came in representing the country, and I called the father. I said, "This guy is fantastic," and I don't know if that helped you or hurt you, but obviously it couldn't have hurt too much.
Shit. What's up, Alfred, by the way? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far, your hump day morning. Absolutely.
Here you are, right? But we had a great meeting, and the office has changed quite a bit, and we inherited a mess. You actually told me you thought the country was in big trouble. I'm not going to use the exact word that you use. I refuse to say that You thought our country was dead a year and a half, 2 years ago, but our country was in trouble, and now we have the hot.
I really hate that he keeps referring back to this. I really hate that that is a political talking point for Trump. It's actually a weak stance to take always. It's one thing to say that the first 2, 3, 4, 5 times, but after the 3,000th time you said it, we know this.
Hottest country in the world.
So does he know. He knows it too.
And we do. We have the United States is right now the hottest country in the world, and between the tariffs and the election, November 5th election, we've done things that nobody can believe. 21 trillion.
Oh man, I will absolutely say I would rather you become a member than to donate 100,000%. But thank you for asking that, SNS. By the way, Hardwire, speaking of membership, comes in for 16 months, by the way, saying everyone tune in to the annual Thanksgiving special time. The time is to be announced, and absolutely. Thank you for the 16 months, Hardwire. Yes, I know that Hardwire is trying to make this badass roundtable, kind of like what we did last year. We did that last year on my channel, actually. But we will definitely make sure that we make something happen with us creators and stuff like that, and we'll sit down and have a good time. So, absolutely.
Dollars will be the amount invested in the United States or committed to invest in 1 year. So I'm here 9 months, and we're up to almost $18 trillion. Biden, as an example, the Biden
What's up, Grandies?
administration, if you call it that, it's not to me, it was the Biden lack of administration. They were less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're going to be $21 trillion for 1 year. I think that's
How about you shut up?
hard to believe. The biggest in history was a certain country, $3 trillion. We're going to be $21 trillion. On top of that, prices are coming down. We inherited a mess with high prices, the worst inflation in the history of our country. We had inflation that was a single 4 years, the worst inflation in the history of the United States. Gas prices through the roof, and that's after destroying our petroleum reserve, which was meant for wars and big emergencies, not to try and win an election. They opened up the reserve so that people get $3 less in gasoline, and it didn't work. They got about 3 cents less, because as big as those reserves are, they're peanuts when you're talking about that kind of traffic. And we're rebuilding the reserves. We're doing all of this, and we've done a job. We're also bringing down prices very substantially, and we've already brought them down very, very substantially. Gasoline is way down. I think you'll be seeing $2 gasoline, but we're now at $2.50, $2.45. Some are lower than that. It was $4.50, $5, $6, $3.50, $3.75, under Biden, all different numbers, but way high. And we have energy way down. But the biggest thing to me, because I know what it means in jobs, is the fact that we're at over $17 trillion, Scott, and we expect to be around 21 trillion.
You absolutely know what I'm getting down on, Wolfheim. Shit. This is our left-handed tobacco, if not our counterclockwise tobacco, coined by our buddy Sterling.
$1 in 1 year. And that's many times bigger than in history. The highest number was $3 trillion. And we're going to be at 21 trillion. That means new plants, new AI, new auto plants. We have auto plants coming in from.
So $21 trillion invested. Holy fuck, that's crazy. That's a lot of money total. I don't know if any other president has brought in anywhere close to that kind of money for the United States, objectively, right? We got Ray's Moto Life up in the building. Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Canada, from Mexico, from Germany, from Japan. Toyota just agreed to invest $10 billion on new auto plants, all American workers. We've never been in a position like this. You can go back to the beginning. Our country has never been in a position like this, and it really is because of the fact that we use tariffs to bring all this money in. And you're going to see the results in a year when these plants start to open up. We have more plants under construction now than at any time in the history of our country. And these are big plants. These are the biggest plants anywhere in the world. And I want to thank you because you've agreed to invest $600 billion into the United States. And because he's my friend, he might make it $1 trillion, but I'm going to have to work on him.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm sure that he's actually going to say it because it says Saudi Crown Prince to invest nearly $1 trillion. And so kind of like similar what happened to Japan when he went over there. He asked for like, I don't know, like $500 billion or whatever. And, or the man that was going to donate or not donate to invest in the United States was like 500 million. And then he's like, come on, let's up that up to $1 trillion or whatever the case is. And then he did it on the spot. It was actually kind of wild to see happen live.
But it's 600. We can count on 600 billion, but that number could go up a little bit higher. Yes, sir. I don't know. We'll see. But we appreciate it very much. So Saudi is going to be investing at least $600 billion, and that means investments in plants, in companies, money on Wall Street, and what it really means for everybody that
What's up, Kerry?
really counts is jobs, a lot of jobs. We have a lot of jobs. So I just want to thank you. We've been really good friends for a long period of time. We've always been on the same side of every issue. I think we've done a great job in wiping out the nuclear capacity of Iran. Nobody else could have done that. No other president would have done it. We had the pilots in the Oval Office right here. We were celebrating a very successful attack. So I had them in with that beautiful B-2 bomber that's over there. And they said, sir, for 22 years, we practiced this attack. Our predecessors, these were very young guys, so 22 years, they said our predecessors and us practiced the attack on Iran. But no president ever gave us the go-ahead. 3 times a year.
In that part, I do believe, AL. Trust me, I'm not naive enough to think that this is like some cakewalk. It's absolutely fucking not. We're in serious detriment. I mean, I look at this shit as where I currently am and the economy and everything. I look at, including inflation, all of it, that it's survival mode, baby.
Went out and they practiced the attack. Nobody let us do it until you came along, and I let them do it because it was the right thing to do. You can't have a nuclear Iran. And so we put you in a very good position. But I just want to say it's an honor to be your friend, and it's an honor that you're here. And if you'd like to say a few words, but thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. This relation has been a relation for about 9 decades, and we've been working together for a long time. But today it's very important.
What's up, Brennan?
Time in our history, because there is also a lot of things that we're working on in the future. We believe in the future of the United States of America. We believe in what you're doing, Mr. President. It's really creating a lot of good things and good foundation to create more economic growth, more business in America. And it will also your work for the world.
No kidding comment.
Peace. I believe, Mr. President, today and tomorrow we're going to announce that we are going to increase that $600 billion to almost $1 trillion of investment, real investment and real opportunity by details in many areas. And the agreement that we are signing today in many areas in technology, in AI, in earth materials, magnet, etc., that will create a lot of investment opportunities.
So you are doing that now. You're saying to me now that the $600 billion will be $1 trillion.
Definitely, because what we are signing will facilitate that. And
I like that very much.
Yo, real quick, we got Hank the Hillbilly. My man, thank you so much for dropping the $2. The Canadian dollars at that. You know, maybe that's like 65 cents here. But hey, no, I'm just fucking with you. I always appreciate you, Hank. Thank you very much for your kind donation there. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning.
I appreciate that. That's great. We're doing numbers that nobody's ever done.
And I very much appreciate what you said there, by the way. Mike Ball, the greatest news anchor in the United States. I very much appreciate that, kind sir.
In all fairness, if you didn't see potential in the U.S., you wouldn't be doing that.
Definitely.
You don't want to lose money.
As you said, Mr. President, it's the most hottest country in the planet. But what you're creating is not about opportunity today. It's about also long-term opportunity in the United States of America that will affect American economy positively in the next coming decades, preparing the right foundation of emerging technologies. That's a game changer for America in a good way, and we want to be part of it.
Yeah, we're doing really well. And it's, you don't see what we're doing so much because we have, although the construction industry sees it, if you look at Caterpillar, who's been incredible, the tractors, everything else, the numbers that we're doing in construction are unbelievable. Some of the plants that we're building, AI, and they're building their own electric with the plant. I gave them the right to build their own electric with the plant because no country, frankly, will have this. China's working very hard to produce enough electric, but we're beating China substantially at AI, which is a big thing. And we had a great meeting 2 weeks ago with President Xi, but on AI, we're doing well. And I have a man, David Rommel.
Yes, sir.
David, could you say a few words about what you're seeing on the job front and all of the some of the assets, and also how we've been helped by the Saudis in terms of the kind of investment they've made, please.
Yeah, most certainly. Thank you for the opportunity. I am a facility leader for GE Vernova, and if you look at the landscape for GE Vernova investment, over $750 million in the U.S. focused on true manufacturing jobs here stateside. We're looking at tripling the output of our Greenville South.
Now, just to put a halt to this real quick. Now they're going to the reporters. That was the dialogue there, the monologue. So now they're going to take on questions. Now, apparently there was some sort of reporter there. Trump slams ABC reporter asking about 9/11 and Saudi Arabia. So I'm very interested in that. And so I wanted to wait until that monologue was over to go ahead and review that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to move on from this. Okay. We're going to go into exactly what I just said, because I do want to hear this person ask this question about 9/11 and see if it was even a good question. All right, let's do this.
Mr. President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president, is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office.
Yo, real quick, we got Wolfheim coming in with the 27 Swedish crowns, my man, and saying, here's some for the stream. Yo, my man, I can't thank you enough. Let's go. Making it rain in the chat. I appreciate you, gentlemen.
Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News.
ABC.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Oh, shit.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it.
What's up, Josephus? Great to see you in the chat, man.
And we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Just yes, Mr. President,
Please,
you allow me to answer. I feel painful about the families of 9/11 in America, but we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose: is to destroy this relation, to destroy.
I'm actually surprised that he's answering any of this. Truthfully, I thought that they were gonna just dismiss it after just slamming her.
The American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation, to continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism. About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way. And it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President.
Real quick before they go into the next question here. We got 162 of you guys in the chat right now. If you guys can do me a favor, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are on the vertical side, make sure you double tap your screen and hit that like button. I appreciate your laborious work on doing that. You don't have to like all the craziness around the world, but you guys can like it for me and my takes and what I do here. So thank you for that.
The Crown Prince has been instrumental in helping lifting the sanctions on Syria. Will there be any joint investment between the U.S. and Syria? And will you visit Damascus?
Are you from Syria?
No, but
Where are you from?
I'm from Palestine.
Oh, you're making a lot of
Pakistan.
progress, huh? Very good. Well, they like me. The Palestinians like me. The Palestinians
He said the
are doing very
Palestinians
well,
like
actually.
me?
I think we're working
Shit.
very closely with a lot of people that make everybody happy, including Israel, the Palestinians, and everybody. That's very interesting. No, I think that I will tell you, the Crown Prince called me, and he specifically asked me if I would lift the sanctions on Syria because he wants to see Syria make it. As you know, the leader of Syria was just here. We had a great meeting, and he's a strong guy, and I guess you need a strong person to run it. And I think Syria's made tremendous progress. And we did lift the sanctions at the request of the Crown Prince. Also, the president of Turkey, Erdogan, called me specifically. He said, if you don't lift the sanctions, Syria doesn't
Lurk it up with Poncho, my man. Good morning.
have a chance. If you do, they have a very good chance.
yeah, for this?
And between the two of them and some others, I lifted the sanctions. And the results so far have been pretty good.
Shit. All right. So we're going to be moving on into our next story here. So, as you guys know, it was big news yesterday that the House passed the Epstein files release and for that bill. Let's go ahead and bring this up. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. And bam, here we go.
Straight back out there to live on the House floor. Still 9 non-voting there. I'm not sure. Casey, what could we be seeing here that's for the last 9 that's allowing this to continue on?
So a few options. The most likely is probably the simplest, that they're not on the floor, that they had some sort of travel delay. They were in a constituent meeting. They're racing there. Or, I mean, I know just from knowing the place, there are some people that want to be the literal last ones. And there's like this little Spider-Man meme on the House floor of like, you go, I go, I want to be just the story, the impact. There's just so few like defining votes in Congress, even though they vote on a lot of stuff. This is obviously one, and they're trying to make their point, even if it's just for themselves or just for their memoirs. I'm the last one there. So anywhere, any reason from I was stuck in a meeting, I was stuck in traffic, to I just wanted to be the last one on a generation defining vote.
And it's interesting because we did also have a shot that has now gone away because this vote was called, but the House Energy Subcommittee was holding a meeting. So exactly as you're saying, they could have been in other pressing matters that they also wanted to address before leaving to make this vote. But again, still 7 left, 4 Republicans, 3 Democrats still holding on here at this point. Very, very close to the end. But again, everyone so far in the yay category. We were also hearing from Thomas Massie. He has, of course, been extremely outspoken on this. Do you think that is going to continue to affect his relationships with some of the members of his own party moving forward?
I think his relationship with members of his own party, to say nothing of the president, is sealed. And it has been for a while. He's a thorn. This is not true to this leadership or even this president. He's known as a procedural stickler, right? And the same way Rand Paul is on the Senate side, like there's just not much you can do to please these folks. And it's just kind of, we'll take his conservative vote when it benefits us, and hopefully he's not too loud when it doesn't. Obviously, this was not a case where he was silent. In fact, he was one of the co-authors on this original discharge petition resolution that got to the floor and co-opted leadership to put it on the floor.
All right, and so we're again winding down to the very end here. Still 5 non-votes there. So what we can do at this,
We're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit here where we can see them actually breaking it.
Ayes are 1, 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
W. That's good.
Casey, it happened. Did you hear that though? He said the nays are 1.
Yeah, the one stuck. And so if you want to talk about like why there's grandstanding in Congress, watch the incentive structure of that one nay vote over the next 24 hours. You may not have heard of this person before, but I guarantee you're going to know his name or her name for a long time now, because
Shit. So there was only 1 vote that said no.
he or she's going to get all the attention. I just don't know who it is yet.
Yeah, we're going to work behind the scenes to figure that out. Again, Casey Burgett there, we appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We're going to continue to listen in. As you said, they're going to be moving on to other information and other votes, 5-minute votes that are set to happen. But we appreciate you for breaking down the very latest. As this is now official, the House has approved the bill to release the Epstein files. All right, so we do have that name. We've just been told here by my producer.
I have not yet, Steve.
Clay Higgins, Representative Clay Higgins. We're going to work to see a little bit more information behind the scenes. And of course, just so you get some context here as to what's happening in the room, I want to put this up on your screen. This is from our Watch With You camera. So we have these. This is a vantage point of what I can see. But also,
Man, that is a nice fucking setup they got here. I just got to point that out. That is fucking superb. Wow, look at those light bars. Man, I got to step up my game. Shit.
the vantage point of what's happening in the room. And so right now, working behind the scenes to learn a little bit more about Clay Higgins, the representative, and the state that they are from. We're going to work to get some other...
Must be nice getting some fucking funding, you know what I mean? Shit. Yes, I do take Super Chats, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, you know what I mean? Shit.
Oh, shit! Oh,
just saying.
Up there on your screen. Here we go. It's from the representative. I'm going to read it out for you. We just got this up on your screen. This is from his X account.
Oh, shit.
Saying, I have been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. What was wrong with the bill 3 months ago?
So this is the guy that... Okay, okay, never mind.
Today. It abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America. As written, this bill...
Wait. This is the one guy that is the no. Oh, shit.
Reveals and injures thousands of innocent people.
Here goes the grandstanding. Oh, shit.
Who provided alibis, family members. If enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. Not by my vote. The oversight...
Yeah, from Bumblebee, because, you know, the independent live streamer is you know, now in competition with these motherfuckers, so they got to step up their shit too. Absolutely.
Committee is conducting a thorough investigation that has already released well over 60,000 pages of documents from the Epstein case. That effort will continue in a manner that provides all due protections for innocent Americans. If the Senate amends the bill to properly address privacy of victims and other Americans who are named but not criminally implicated, then I will vote for that bill when it comes back to the House. This is interesting there. Casey, I still see that you're here on the line. Do you mind chiming in on this? We have the full statement now. I'm intrigued. You said it. It was possible. You said we may not know the name initially. But now we have it. It's there. Representative Clay Higgins.
Yeah, I know him. He's an incredibly strong Trump defender. He's a process-oriented America First type guy. So I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting fired. he loves the limelight.
Well, thank God that someone like you has nothing on my freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Shit.
He loves the spot.
Stupid ass.
Spotlight, and this is I'm shocked that he is a nay vote, the only nay vote I should say. But if you gave me a list of 5 people who would have been a nay vote, he would have been right on the top of that 5.
And so I'm watching this, and it was what we've talked about. A lot of the conversation had to do with what's in it, where will people be revealed in this. He's saying he's doing this for the victims. Do you think that this will stick well for him ultimately? I mean, it was, like you said, it was surprising to see this one no vote, and it's going to go down in history as one of the most major votes, but Clay Higgins decided to vote against it.
Yeah, so just doing the quick politics in my head here, he left himself a lot of wiggle room. So right now he gets the national attention that comes with this. He's obviously going to be incredibly well supported or well respected by the president for being the one lone dissenter on something that he doesn't want to ultimately do.
Yeah, and in case he was right there on that that whole analysis right there, that was actually a really good. He was like, yeah, that you're going to see this grandstanding from this fucking dude, and or he or she, whatever. And sure as shit, that's exactly what we saw. So we're going to move on, though. We're going to hear what Chuck Schumer has to say about speaks after the Senate sends Epstein bill to Trump for signature. So let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll go ahead and discuss it a little bit.
But there's a lot more to do. First, when I got to the floor at 3 o'clock, I said that I would offer a unanimous consent request to pass the bill that the House had just passed by an overwhelming majority. And
you know what, Steve Posey, you did remind me, bro. Let's get the money part over, you know.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Perfect.
I am the Republicans not wanting to block the bill because we confronted them that they would be forced to, relented and allowed my motion to pass. The motion is it's technical, but the motion says that when the House sends the bill over, it automatically goes to the president's desk. The Senate cannot delay it, cannot amend it, cannot change it in any way. We deemed it passed. That's the word, the technical word used. And so this was a very good thing. And Democrats fought and fought and fought to have this happen.
What? That part is a lie, though. We all know that you definitely had 4 years to do that, and you guys didn't fight then. It's always fucking it's political theater. It's all bullshit.
It took too long, but we persisted and persisted and got it done. I want to give huge credit to the victims and their courage and their strength. It wouldn't have happened without them. But there's a long, long way to go. First, Johnson should send the bill over now. Right now, there's no reason it can't be on the president's desk in an hour. Second, the president has to sign it. You never know with him. He said he would. Let's wait and see. But third, we have to make sure that all of the documents are released, that there are no games. We know there's a corrupt Justice Department. We know that Bondi and Kash Patel do just what the president asks and wants. And we Democrats, I just had a meeting of 10 of my colleagues, are going to do everything we can to make sure all of it comes to light, and they don't hide evidence against anyone who might be incriminated by these documents. So good victory today. Fight continues until the American people see all of the documents and are satisfied that all of those documents are released and there's no game playing, no cover-up. We are continuing to fight.
Leadership, what are your, sorry.
Well, you got the first question.
I'll take the second.
Leader Schumer, quick question. What exactly can you do to ensure that all the documents come out, given Pam Bondi and given the Department of Justice, are having an active...
We are going to we have many different ways that we are going to do everything we can to see that everything comes out. Pressure works. If not for the pressure from Democrats...
Oh my God. What cope?
This wouldn't have happened. Bondi didn't release documents. Bondi didn't do what she did. and change your mind, say yes, say no. Kash Patel didn't do what they did. Johnson didn't do what he did. Thune didn't do what he did. And the president didn't do what he did without pressure from Democrats. That pressure will continue in every way. And we have talked about 5 or 6 different ways that we're going to see that happens.
Thank you. One of the criticisms that had come out of the Democrats was that this had also been an issue during the Biden administration, and that, why wasn't it taken up? In your opinion, why wasn't it taken up then? Was it just that it was an open investigation and they didn't want to tip their hat?
The difference is real. President Trump campaigned on this. He promised to get this done. He's the one who's backed off on this, period. Yes.
Real quick, we got 172 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap the screen if you're on the vertical side. I very much appreciate you guys.
Saying that you consented to adding this provision into the approach bill that would allow senators to sue if their phone records are obtained. Is that true?
Look, the bottom line is Thune wanted the provision. And we wanted to make sure that at least Democratic senators were protected from Bondi and others who might go after them. So we made it go prospective, not just retroactive. But I'd be for repealing all the provision, all of it. And I hope that happens. Yes.
Why precisely go with UC and not force a vote to get somebody smokes on the record?
Because we want to get this done. And if they would have been allowed amendments, they could have delayed it. And if you have amendments, guess where it goes? Not to the president's desk, to the House. And the House, who knows what they do with it. So that was enough. Thank you, everybody.
That's it. He's going to walk away after that. All right. So there was a SpaceX launch. We're going to hold that for a sec because we got so much to get into. Unfortunately, that is not a priority at the moment. We have Texas redistricting. Federal court blocks new congressional maps. So let's go ahead and bring this up. It's going to be in regards of gerrymandering.
A panel of federal judges in Texas has blocked the state's new congressional map that could have helped Republicans gain a handful of U.S. House seats in next year's midterms. It's a major blow to President Trump's effort to protect
damn
the GOP's slim House majority. So for more on this, we want to go out live right now to Houston, Texas. Fox News' Sarah Legray joining us here with a breakdown and what this means right now.
Well, Mike, I mean, months ago, we thought, hey, this is a done deal. But after today, these judges are saying, whoa, 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 you know what? We're actually not going to use those newly redrawn congressional maps. It's a no for Texas. It was a federal panel, 3 judges, 2-1, ruling that Texas has to use the maps from 2021 instead. I do want to know one of these judges appointed by now President Donald Trump, the other by former President Barack Obama. Now, taking a look at these maps side by side, the one on your left is the current map. The other, though, the one on your left is going to be that newly redrawn congressional map. It's the one that Republicans passed this summer. And they'd hope this new map would give them some control of 30 of Texas' 38 House seats. Right now, they hold about 25. And this was no routine redistricting effort. The Texas GOP, they did it mid-decade specifically to increase the party's numbers in the U.S. House. Now, 2 of the 3 judges said Texas went too far, saying evidence shows the state racially gerrymandered the 2025 map, ruling the state has to stick with the lines drawn back in 2021.
So they did say it came down to a race thing.
It's a big win, though, Mike, for Democrats, especially for the state legislators who left Texas for Chicago this summer to block a vote on what they called unfair congressional maps.
Why we've been working so hard every single day is because we, like the rest of Americans, are tired of it. We've had enough. And it's not just about D versus R. It's about whether the American people get to live the American dream.
And Governor Abbott responding, saying in part the legislature redrew our congressional maps to better reflect Texans' conservative voting preferences and for no other reason. And he claimed that these maps are discriminatory, is absurd, and unsupported by the testimony offered during 10 days of hearings. This ruling is clearly erroneous and undermines the authority of the U.S. Constitution, assigns the Texas legislature by imposing a different map by judicial edict. Now, the governor also says the state plans to appeal this to the U.S. Supreme Court. We're also hearing, though, from the DNC. They say this is a very big win for Texas voters, saying fair representation will prevail in the 2026 midterms. Mike?
Yeah, and Sarah, such huge news. What does this mean, though, for other states as well when they look at this ruling on the federal side?
Yeah, this is a big deal.
It's huge, Texas. What about other states involved?
Well, we have to look at Proposition 50 with the state of California. I think that's where a lot of our minds go. It was a very big win for state Democrats there, but not only for them across the country. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens next. I think we're all still waiting to see the potential ripple effect. Do we see these states back off, or do we see them moving forward with this process? I think it's up to the judge to concern whether this is politically motivated or unfair, and an unfair representation, rather, to voters in those said respective states.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Sarah Allegre, you've been with us from the very beginning. Thanks so much for your reporting. We appreciate all of the updates along the way. Thanks again for being with us on Live Now from Fox. All right, everyone, we do want...
All right, and they're going to end up bringing somebody on to discuss this, and I really don't care about opinions. I only give a fuck about the facts. So we're going to move on. Trump administration announces dismantling of parts of the Department of Education. So let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll go ahead and discuss this right here, right now. This came out 6 hours ago, so this is today.
Welcome back. Today, the Trump administration announcing that they are making progress on their pledge to dismantle the Education Department. Today, the administration announcing that the Department of Education is signing a series of interagency agreements to shift some power from a handful of its offices and programs over to other federal agencies as it works to dismantle the department for good. The Department of Education was established in 1979 under the Carter administration. Standing by is Laura Meckler. She's a national education writer for The Washington Post. The Post breaking this news earlier today. Given today's news, how much progress has been made to dismantle the Education Department? Let's say that a full dismantling is 100%. Where do things stand as of this latest round of news? 25%, 50%? Where does it stand?
I've never really thought of it quite in percentage terms. I'm not sure I can give you an accurate number. I mean, on one level, they haven't gotten far at all because it does require an act of Congress to actually close the agency, and there's been almost no effort on the Hill whatsoever towards that. On the other hand, I think that they've gotten further than a lot of people would have guessed at this point.
Real quick, we have 251 people in here. Make sure you double tap the screen on the vertical side to hit that like button on the horizontal, man. Thank you, guys.
They've reduced the staff by about half. They have now signed interagency agreements, 7 of them, to move offices. Now, these are not the big programs that the department does. So the biggest programs like the Federal Student Loan Program and the Civil Rights Enforcement Office, those are still at the Education Department. So I think that we are still in the closer to 0 for sure than we are to 100, but they are marching in that direction.
So Education Secretary Linda McMahon wrote an op-ed in USA Today saying the government shutdown proved how little the Education Department will be missed. I'm reading this. She said students kept going to class, teachers continue to get paid, and there were no disruptions in sports seasons or bus routes. Does that assessment feel accurate? What education impacts were you tracking during the shutdown?
Bit of a false comparison. I mean, the federal government has never run bus routes for school districts. They don't set curriculum. They don't hire teachers. Those have always been done by local school boards, and most policy is set on the state level. That is the case today. It has long been the case. So that hasn't changed. I don't think we would necessarily expect the day-by-day experience of students in schools to be impacted by the federal government. However, if it got to the point where they couldn't release the money that school districts were expecting, say, to pay for tutoring.
Yeah, but that's speculation.
Or for special education services, then I think people would start to feel it in a different way.
Well, of course, but that's speculation.
But those things generally take some time. So we do see, for instance, a big backlog of cases that have been filed at the Office for Civil Rights because the staff has been so reduced there. And if you talk to people who have cases pending and are waiting for decisions, they'll say that they're feeling an impact. So it just really sort of depends on how you look at it.
So Secretary McMahon is arguing that the Department of Education is mostly a pass-through for funds that are best managed by the states. Did today's move in any way give more power to the states?
That's sort of an irony here because no, it really didn't. I mean, that is certainly how they message about this. They like to talk about returning power to the states. And certainly there are steps that could be taken to do that. You could loosen federal rules, for instance. Most of those are written into the statute, so you would probably need Congress. But just moving an office from one federal agency to another federal agency does not in and of itself return any power to the states or reduce the federal impact. I mean, in some ways, actually, it may have actually made it harder for some states and school districts because instead of just dealing with one agency, the Department of Education, the people that they're used to dealing with, sort of with the processes that are well established, they're going to have to figure out how to deal with another agency. Now, it may be seamless, it may be easy, it may be better in the end. I don't know, but I don't think it's returning education to the states.
So if McMahon wants more power to the states, why are federal agencies getting some of the power? And what levers do they have to give more power to the states?
I really don't like these questions. I really want to hear more of the facts of like, okay, how are they going to be dismantling it? Like, I really don't like the speculation aspect of this.
Is that's closest to the child and not run from a bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. So the announcement that we made this afternoon was what we are doing to take certain programs that are now part of the Department of Education and what we call signing interagency agreements, and that is that we procure the services of other agencies. It's kind of a bit of a test run. We want to move on a temporary basis some of those programs to different agencies.
What's up, Stacks, my man? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
Funding still comes from the Department of Education. The management of those programs, the oversight of those programs is still at the department, but we want to see if what we think to be true is that they will function much more in a streamlined fashion and much more efficiently if we relocate those programs into other agencies. And so
this is all like guesses here. All right, we're going to move on here. All right. So there was some breaking news that happened 3 hours ago. Carnival cruise death. The FBI is now looking into step sibling of teen found dead under bed. So let's go ahead and bring this up for you guys, and we'll go ahead and see what's happening here.
Turning now to another top story that we're following very closely, and I want to bring up a social media post on X, courtesy of Fox News. Take a look. It says documents suggest the FBI is investigating the step-sibling of a Florida high school cheerleader found dead on a cruise ship. That cheerleader is Anna Kepner. She was a student at Titusville High School who mysteriously died aboard that cruise ship. We're going to be joined now with a live report from Fox 35 in Orlando, Amanda Ruiz. And Amanda, I know that Fox 35 is looking into these documents very closely, so what have you found?
Good morning. Well, these new court documents reveal that Anna Kepner's stepmother's child could be a focus of a brand new criminal investigation that the FBI is leading. And right now we're learning more as we speak. It's been almost 2 weeks since 18-year-old Anna Kepner died on a Carnival cruise ship. Now, new court documents state the FBI's investigation could become criminal. Quote, a criminal case may be initiated against one of the minor children. This comes from a motion filed by the attorney representing Kepner's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, in an unrelated civil divorce case. In it, the attorney states Hudson should not have to testify in an upcoming hearing because her testimony could be self-incriminating. The document states Kepner was on a Carnival cruise with her stepmother and her stepmother's child when she was found on November 7th. Fox
Man, that's terrible.
35 spoke to a criminal defense attorney not affiliated with this case. He says it's Hudson's Fifth Amendment right not to testify.
There's no secret, that there is an investigation going on right now, whether it's possibly criminal. We understand that there's no benefit to testifying right now if that could hurt you in the future. It's just best not to give any kind of testimony. It's best not to expose your client to cross-examination, being attacked or being questioned under oath.
Damn.
Now, I do want to clarify that these court documents that we have obtained do not mention the investigation or Anna Kepner's death at all. They also do not name anyone specific besides the stepmother, who is Hudson. We reached out to the FBI for any details on this case, and we are waiting to hear back. For now, reporting in Lake Mary, Florida, Amanda Ruiz, Fox 35 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much for your time here. Of course, you are following this very closely. You take care. In the meantime, I want to bring us out to this, a live image that we have over in Port Canaveral. This is in Florida. I want to talk a little bit more about Anna Kepner and who she was. So she was a senior at Temple Christian High School in Titusville, Florida. She was preparing to graduate in spring of 2026, having dreams of joining the U.S. Navy.
Damn.
And eventually becoming a K-9 police officer. That's according to her family and an online obituary. And this is referencing some reporting from Fox 35 in Orlando. Now, her funeral is scheduled for Thursday, November 20th at a funeral home in her
I did not see that, Steve Posey. I'm going to have to look into that. That's interesting.
Hometown, according to that public online posting.
Not good.
She did attend several high schools, including Titusville High School, where she was a member of the varsity cheer team. She then moved over to Astronaut High School before joining Temple Christian School. So again, the FBI getting involved in this entire scenario. We are still waiting to get some more details because not a lot of those details have been released in regard to Anna's death. Fox 35 did learn that she...
Well, probably because now the FBI is involved in this and they're not going to be, yapping about it for sure until they figure out the facts, right? So we got over 200 of you guys in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap the screen. We're going to be moving on here. We'll talk a little bit more about the efforts of Trump and his administration for dismantling the Department of Education. I have it right here. Let's go ahead and see, instead of speculation from the media, let's see if there's any type of facts that are now going to be laid out.
Once again, taking a live look over the White House as we get to the latest here on your top headlines. The U.S. Department of Education handing off some of its biggest grant programs to other federal agencies as the Trump administration pushes forward with a plan to shut down the department. President Trump called for its elimination with an executive action in March, and now 6 new agreements signed by the Education Department will effectively move billions of dollars in grant programs to other agencies. Most notable is one that will put the Department of Labor over some of the largest federal funding streams for K-12 schools, including money for schools that serve
What's up, GEG? Good morning.
low-income communities. Opponents urging against the entire plan, arguing that it could disrupt programs that support some of the nation's most vulnerable student populations. Right now, I do want to pop this up on your screen. This is actually a remark from the Secretary for Education. This is Linda McMahon. She appeared on Fox and said, "My top priority is to fulfill the president's mission to return education to the states. Our partnerships mark a major step toward restoring local control and delivering better outcomes for our students." I do want to bring in Jeannie Allen, the founder and CEO of the Center for Education Reform and co-founder of the Yass Prize. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and
Well, this will be interesting.
helping to break down what the situation is at this point.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Well, can you start by kind of explaining where we stand right now and what the latest information is as President Trump does work to dismantle the Department of Education?
Thank you. I want to know exactly what they're trying to dismantle. Like how? How are you trying to dismantle it? I want to hear that part. I don't want to care. I don't care about the speculation part.
Sure. So this is the next step in a long line of efforts the department's making to break up programs in the department. What we have to know is that the department is authorized by Congress. Any major restructuring, shutting down requires an act of Congress. That's a tough sell. So in the meantime, to fulfill the president's
Shit, we got Mossad in here. That's not good.
agenda, Linda McMahon and her team are making agreements with other agencies, as you said, to take on these programs. So what does this mean? It means that while the oversight for those programs will go to different agencies, labor for post-secondary and elementary, state has international, interior gets Indian education, and so forth. HHS gets some child-related and medical-related programs. The actual responsibility and money for driving those changes happens at the states. In other words, it doesn't actually just transfer bureaucracy, it reduces the amount of people messing around and imploding programs that are actually meant for kids.
Is there any sort of historical precedent, anything of that nature, when you look a little bit closer about the dismantlement of the Education Department kind of as a whole?
Well, not really. I mean, the department was created in 1980. It was a promise from then President Jimmy Carter in his election. They basically assembled programs that were at HHS at the time, which was also not called that. So we do have some level of understanding of what happens when things shift. It does not mean, though, as the critics are suggesting, that there will be less oversight in terms of how children are treated. It doesn't mean that students will get less money. In fact, we argue that they'll actually get more because there's so many resources that are peeled off at every single layer, Josh, from the federal to the state to the local level. And so if states are smart, and we're cautioning also the department, they have to provide this kind of guidance, right? The Department of Labor, whoever's in charge, has to help states, communities, and local educators understand what their responsibilities are and how they can actually ensure that the money reaches kids. They have more freedom, more.
Well, that's good. They need to figure out if we're going to be spending all this fucking money, okay, at least at bare minimum, it needs to benefit the kids. I mean, like, yeah, abso-fucking-lutely.
Flexibility to do it, more options. Now they have to seize the moment.
As we continue to follow all of this, do we have...
So the dismantling of the DOE, more like just reform and make sure that the money actually is going to the kids and not into pockets of these greedy assholes.
An idea of both the short-term and long-term impacts on, let's say, parents, students, and schools in general, as, again, all of this does kind of take shape?
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest. It is going to be a little messy. We have a education system across the country that is used to one way of doing things, very top-down, compliance-driven. Districts are required to report up. They often do things in response to what feds and states say, not necessarily in response to parents. So while for leaders of school systems and schools, this may be a little messy, parents need to understand that this actually gives them more power than ever before. They should.
Yeah, it's surprising that any kid has to pay money at school lunches. Like, that shit should be paid for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me that the Department of Education allocates billions and billions and billions of dollars. How do you not have enough money to be able to have free lunches for your kids? I just Unbelievable.
Be going into their schools, into their communities, to their school board meetings and saying, okay, what can we do about this? Not just wait and have something happen to them. This follows a wave of this kind of parent engagement that started pre-COVID and followed and accelerated after that. More states than ever before offering options and freedom for parents, offering more flexibility for teachers. So what do we have to do to make that really stick? You got to get the federal government out of the way of the rank and file.
As we kind of see, again, this process continue to play out, what would be maybe some of the indicators that this is succeeding or failing?
That's
what do people
awesome,
need to be
Steve.
watching for as the weeks, months, and potentially years here do progress?
Sure. I think one of the most important that may take a little time, but you'll start seeing it in the next 12 to 18 months, is you will see better achievement results on state assessments, maybe eventually on that nation's report card that always shows us a gloomy picture of, fewer than 30% of our kids proficient in math, reading, and just about everything else. So outcomes is one. Two is high satisfaction. Look, we have teachers that the districts and systems are imploding. Teachers leaving and going to start their own micro schools. They're going to do online learning. They're tired of being in a system that's not responsive. I think you could see more people wanting to go into the profession, more teachers wanting to lead their own schools, and more parents engaged in the process. And those are the three most important things we can expect.
Yeah, see, if that's true, DOE's budget is $46 billion. Yeah, they can fucking afford to give free lunch for everyone in the nation.
We want the bottom line is this is about outcomes. The Department of Labor taking over elementary and secondary education, post-secondary. Sounds a little strange to people. The argument is if the Labor Department is right now administering.
And obviously I meant that for the kids.
Millions of workforce programs tied directly with the workforce, why wouldn't they also be looking at how education actually evolves into and tracks into those kinds of outcomes as well? And so there's a lot that still remains to be seen. It's a very entrepreneurial approach. Not everybody is happy. But at the end of the day, don't forget what's happening with kids locally and parent engagement through choice and opportunity and innovation is the most important thing we can do for our kids. And most of the time, the federal bureaucracy stands in the way.
All right, Jeannie Allen, thank you so much for taking the time.
That was actually a really good breakdown.
Subject.
That was a really good breakdown because everyone else was trying to fucking speculate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have over 220 people in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button on our way out. I can't thank you guys enough. Stick around for the raid, by the way. We're going to be raiding our buddy Grid One Motorsports. He just went live, and I'm sure he's going to talk about DebateCon, which I just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, so make sure you guys stick around for that. And thank you all very much for allowing me to be able to do this, Monday through Friday, reporting the news, and then Saturday morning for you members, man. So I'm very honored to be able to do this. So anyways, we'll see you guys tonight, actually, for the Diamond Effect. You guys will see me live again this evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And yes, we will be back for more of the world's madness, though, tomorrow morning. And much love, honor, respect to everybody, and God bless everyone.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burns.